This is a wok, one of the oldest culinary instruments in the world. And today we're using it to make better than takeout fried rice. And you are gonna love it. Let's cook. It is raining now. You may be able to hear it. To me, that screams comfort food. Talking about comfort food, I ate Chinese takeout almost every weekend growing up. My parents loved it and I grew up loving it. I was born in Venezuela, but with half of my family being from Dominican Republic, where rice is such a big staple, I fell in love with rice at a very early age. As you know, everything fried is better. Imagine for me combining fried rice. Hello. But to me, making fried rice was one of those mysteries from the Far East. I later found out that it's not that hard to make, as long as you use some basic principles and ingredients. I love fried rice. I even want to do the yummy dance now, but I'll wait. You know what? I can't wait. Let's cook. Today I have special shout outs because our friends are sending us gifts. Look at me. Well, let's start with this one. You see this beautiful board? I don't know, you may be able to see it here, but it says Gus in the Kitchen. It says Gonzalez. It says established June 2020. This is from Jim and Mary Coker. Guys, this is so awesome. We love you. Thank you. And the apron says Chef Gus. This one came from our dear friend Patty Schechter. Patty, we love you. Thank you. And now the shout outs for the people that are cooking our stuff and letting us know about it. Malicia Ward, she made the surf and turf pasta. My friend Luis Saher made the steak and it looked amazing. And Leonor made another one from Valencia, Spain. The chicken steak with the Israeli salad. Perfect for a European summer. As always, we need to get organized. The French call this mise en place. And all mise en place is having the ingredients and the tools that you need right in front of you. Remember, mise en place is less stress. So we're ready. Let's do this. Let's cook. Hey, I just want to remind you that you can find today's recipe in the description below. You can make fried rice with anything that you want. In fact, fried rice is something that you make with leftover rice and anything that you have handy. Today we're using 3 proteins: shrimp, chicken, and we're using honey barbecue pork. I made the honey barbecue pork myself and I decided to use pork belly this time. I hope you can see it. It looks amazing. I already cut it in small pieces and I have about half a cup. For the chicken, I'm using deboned thigh. If you don't know how to do that, there's a link for the chicken steak episode below. I'm using 2 thighs and I also cut them in small pieces. For fried rice, it's better to use 1 day old rice. If you don't have a day in advance, you can put it in the fridge for 4 or 6 hours. Hot, freshly made rice is very hard to cook because it will turn mushy. Press the rice. To try and separate the grains. When you cook the rice, make sure you use oil in the water. That will help the grains separate themselves. We are using about 1.5 cups of shrimp. It looks like this. You don't want this teeny weeny shrimp that you get on takeout. This is why this is better than takeout. Also, you don't want this huge jumbo shrimp that are gonna overpower the rice. Make sure that the shrimp is dry. Remember, cooking is about ingredients, time, and temperature. And when we're using the wok, we're gonna use, for the most part, very high heat. So everything that goes in that wok needs to be very dry. And with high heat cooking, speed is crucial. I'm gonna cut half an onion. You keep the core. It's not gonna be super finely diced. You want a little bit of texture there too. That is one of the hallmarks of Chinese cooking. You can feel the freshness. We're gonna do the same thing with the medium-sized carrot. Remember to peel it first. We're gonna dice it in smaller pieces than the onion because the carrot will probably take longer to cook. Cut it in half and you put the flat side down. Cut another part here, another part here. Do small squares. And that should be enough. This is about the same amount of onions. I put them together because they're gonna cook together. I'm gonna use 2 scallions or spring onions. You should see Sebastian. He's handling 2 cameras right now and he's doing a great job at that. We're gonna dice the scallion somewhat fine and we're gonna use both the green and the white part. That adds both flavor and color. We're gonna beat 2 eggs. I'm also using bean sprouts. Some restaurants use them, some don't. For me, this is a childhood memory, so I'm using it. This is 1 cup. We're also using half a cup of frozen green peas. There are certain ingredients that you must have for Chinese cooking. Obviously, soy sauce is one of them, but Chinese cooking has different types of soy sauces. There is a light sauce and a dark sauce and some other variations, but for the most part, both are used. Today is no exception. We're using light sauce and dark sauce. The difference is aging and some extra ingredients. The dark sauce, as you can imagine, has a bolder flavor. We are also using oyster flavored sauce, a staple of Chinese cuisine. Some restaurants don't use it for fried rice because it tends to be more expensive. We're gonna use just a tiny bit to add a little bit of umami to our fried rice. So what is umami? Umami is an Asian flavor component. It is a 5th flavor profile besides salty, sweet, sour, and bitter. Umami is kind of a meaty type flavor that encompasses all of the other 4 combined. The best condiment to add umami, it's kind of controversial, it's MSG. And MSG is controversial because in the 1960s, it became associated with headaches and Chinese restaurants. It all turned out to be a hoax, and the MSG myth is still with us today. You find MSG naturally in a lot of foods and also in a lot of processed foods. Ramen noodles is a great example of that. And if you've been to college, you have eaten a lot of MSG. I'm combining a lot of the seasoning together. 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of white pepper. Chinese cooking rarely uses black pepper. They do, but white pepper is more prevalent. And a 1/4 teaspoon of MSG, which is optional for you, but I promise you it'll be better. Now I'm mixing the sauces. 2 tablespoons of light soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of dark soy sauce, and 1 teaspoon of oyster sauce. Look how nice and thick that is. As you can see, the conga line is already set up. Every ingredient in the order it's gonna go in the wok. As we always say, it's ingredients, time, and temperature. The ingredients are there and they're awesome. We're gonna start with medium heat because we're cooking the eggs first. Then after that, everything's gonna be high heat. Therefore, speed is gonna be crucial here. What we're gonna do now to make this easier, we're gonna cook 1 ingredient at a time and then take it out. And then the next one, and then take it out. And then at the end, we're gonna combine everything together with the rice. All right, so let's get started. We're gonna use about a tablespoon of oil for the eggs, and then we're gonna add another tablespoon for each of the proteins. We're using canola oil, which is a high smoking point oil, a touch of sesame oil just for the umami taste. I'm gonna put a little bit of cold oil on the hot wok all around. That is gonna ensure that nothing sticks. That's a lot more oil than we need, so we're gonna discard it. This will keep things from sticking to the wok. So now about 1 tablespoon of oil. In go the eggs. As you can see, nothing is sticking. It's a nice trick, isn't it? Okay, the egg is almost done. We're gonna break it into little pieces and get it out. I'm gonna put it in the same container. Remember, we're gonna cook this egg again. I'm gonna try not to make so much noise. It's almost impossible in wok cooking. High heat. Another tablespoon. And we're gonna cook the shrimp for about 30 seconds, something like that. You can test with one shrimp, and that's smoking, so here we go. Just keep moving everything. Putting a little bit of salt, just a tiny bit of salt. And they have color, and out they go. See what they look like. Remember, this shrimp is gonna cook again a little bit more with the rice. So you do not want to overcook it. Another tablespoon of oil. See, we've only used 3 tablespoons. And in goes the chicken. Keep moving it around, up and down. And you want to keep that wok very hot. A little bit of salt, not too much. Now the chicken, we are going to cook more for about 3 minutes. You do want the chicken to be cooked throughout. We're using chicken thighs, and that's going to be way more moist than the typical breast. You also want a little bit of color on that chicken. Fat is flavor, and sear is flavor. Okay, and we're done. We're not changing the oil because all those flavors are mixing already together. Here we go with the onions and carrots. Ooh, how fragrant this is. See that if you don't touch it, some of the onions start jumping. That's how the rice needs to jump. That's coming out. Another couple of tablespoons. And maybe a half a tablespoon of sesame oil. In we go with the rice. You want to make sure that you move the rice around. You want every grain touching that wok. This rice is already cooked, but it needs to be not just heated throughout, but we also need to kinda brown it. It's gonna add a nutty flavor to the rice. We've been using the conga line right in order. Next is the seasoning, the salt, the sugar, the MSG. I saw some a little bit starting to burn, so I just moved it from the heat. In we go with the pork. You can warm that up. Doing the peas. I'm gonna put that at medium heat right now. In we go with chicken, the onions, shrimp, pretty much everything else. With the bean sprouts. Now we're gonna do the soy sauce all around. And keep on moving it. You want to combine everything well. Even if you have to take it off the heat, keep on moving and combining. The last thing we're doing is the green onion. Turn it off. This is what it looks like. Taste a little bit in case you need to adjust for seasoning. I used very little salt at the beginning because soy sauce is salty. And this is what it looks like. Finally, my favorite part of the whole show, taste test. Did you see how beautiful this looks? Oh, you can smell it. Takes me back to childhood. I serve myself a little bit here, and I have some shrimp, I have chicken, barbecue pork, which is called char siu in Cantonese. Here I go. I'm tasting a little bit of everything. I can't stop. This is comfort food for me. You have no idea how happy this makes me. Oh my God, these flavors are so familiar to me. Who doesn't love a great fried rice? I'm dedicating this one to my dad in heaven because he used to buy this every weekend. It seems to me like every Sunday. I don't know. That's what I remember. You know what? I need to go with my family because this is a family moment. I'm gonna call someone you haven't seen yet, our only daughter, Isabella. Come on, Isa. I'm gonna serve you some shrimp, pork, and chicken. I know you like spice, so I can give you a little bit of spice too.
Ooh, let's do that. This. Wait, it's really good.
Put it there.
I wish y'all could smell this.
That's what's up. That's the yummy dance.
That's a little yummy dance right there. Thank you.
Oh, you're taking it? All right, so I need another dish. Joanna, come here. You have to taste this. Let me get some chicken.
No more work for me? Now
No more
eat
work for
food.
you.
So good. So fresh.
It's delicious.
It's like another level of Chinese food. Put some spicy there. Another yummy dance.
Sebastian, come. You need to come. You need to try this.
Some chicken, char siu. Oh, very good.
Chinese food, believe it or not, it's great with champagne because it goes really well with fried food and spicy food. This is restaurant quality.
Really. Cheers again.
All right. 4 things. Subscribe, hit like, share with your friends, and cook it. This is something that you can do. Trust me, if you don't have a wok, just get a big pan. You can just use the conga line and practice. Can you hear Lola already? She gets crazy every time we do this. She can smell the deliciousness. There she is. And come see us next time. We're making the most delicious Maryland crab cakes.
So good. He makes the best.
Come see us.